Hello and welcome to It's Not Over, podcast where I speak to strong, amazing, awesome, supportive, amazing, beautiful, kind
Keep going. I
women.
like this.
Yes,
Yeah.
women. So today I have on my friend Erika. I'm going to learn about her today with you because everyone I know, because we both speak with women in particular post-divorce, during divorce, about being strong women. Do you know Erika? You know Erika? I'm like, no, but you certainly seem like someone I want to know. We had a beautiful walk one day.
Which is another way of getting to know people, is we did a walk and talk.
That was fun.
And I'm trying to do that more. Is we sit at our desk all day long, and the way of connecting with people sometimes is just going for a walk. So it was great that we're both local, and it was like, I keep hearing about you keep hearing about me. Let's go for a walk and learn about one another. And then you're like, let's jump on a podcast and let other people listen in on like what we talk about. Isn't that how every
relationship goes?
Yes.
All the good
we make it public.
All the good ones, Erika.
Got it.
So thank you for joining. I appreciate it. So tell me about what you do and how you got there. That's a big question.
That's a big question.
Okay, tell me about what you do.
Okay, so I am a certified financial therapist.
Okay,
at this point at the cocktail party, people like tilt their head and look at me like, what?
Child, please.
Yes. And so, and they're like, a financial advisor? And I'm like, no, I actually don't talk any dollars and cents. I talk the other senses. How does money make you feel? Are you tossing and turning at night? Are you literally physically backing away from conversations with your partner or your boss? That's the work that I do. And you asked me a question is, how did I get here? So we'll rewind a little bit.
Yes.
Want to go on a roller coaster ride?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. So
yes, I'm ready.
Fasten your seatbelt. So my house growing up, we talked about money very easily with my dad. It was just a natural conversation, and I was good at math. So it was something we bonded over, from going to the grocery store, paying at the cash register, to first computer was a family computer back in the day, and started trading stocks with my dad around 13.
Wow.
And so I just took interest in it. And so as I went through life, I went and got a degree in finance, and then went to consulting and worked for IBM. So we're going right up.
Yep.
And moved to North Carolina, met the father of my children, moved to New York City, moved into an apartment we probably shouldn't have afforded at the time.
But it was probably awesome.
It was amazing.
But again, financially, I know you're going to get to that. It is
young and dumb in the city, and now
Yes.
we're merging money for the first time. And we had a little bit of a pay difference, and so trying to figure out those things.
Yes.
And then we got married and bought the first house, and then got sent overseas. So got to live in Japan for 2 years.
Okay.
And at this point I'm 30 years old and had my first daughter. So now not only do we switch money, right? We've merged money, we've purchased a home, we've had to change currencies, and now we're expanding for a family.
And you have to learn a language and move your daughter, right?
Well, delivering.
Okay.
The best part is you stay in the hospital for 5 days there. So to have my first kid, I didn't care that I couldn't speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
They would come in and be like, did your milk come in? Did you know how to cut the toenails? Like things that when I had my second and third child did not happen here. So It was a beautiful blessing to have my daughter in Japan. And then we moved to China. And then I moved back to the US and popped 2 more kids out. So I had 3 kids under the age of 4 when all of a sudden, ready for the roller coaster ride.
And they're all girls.
All girls.
Kudos to you.
All girls. Mm-hmm. I live in a sorority house now. So the roller coaster ride went up, all these amazing things. And then whoosh, I was told I was getting a divorce. Mm. And I remember laying on the floor, sitting in my dressing room, because at that point we had a dressing room.
Wow. Fancy.
And living up north, and the kids crawling all over me. And they're like not used to their mom laying down. And they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Poking and prodding me. And I'm like, I'm trying to find my purpose in life.
Yes.
And I remember saying, what's your purpose? Do you want to paint today? Like I was trying to relate. And I realized that my purpose was to help others go through tough times, taking the higher road. It didn't come to fruition until 10 years later when I heard the term financial therapist. It was like a lightning went through me. And at that time, I had lost my dad a few years earlier. Traditional marriage, My mom knew where the notebook was, but not necessarily all the levers to pull and who to contact and what the meetings were. So without knowing, she was my first client. And so when I heard financial therapy, I went to Kansas State, got a graduate certificate in financial therapy,
Interesting.
joined the Financial Therapy Association. Again, none of this I knew ahead of time. And I'm one of 100 that are certified in this field. And what we focus on is your emotional relationship with money because we're told not to talk about it.
Yeah. That is incredible. So, okay, I'm going to back you up a little bit. So when you found out about your divorce and you needed to be on your own and all of those things, were you thinking about money then? Was it?
So great question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The interesting thing was I was always the CFO of our family. So both of us were in finance.
Okay.
He kept saying we don't have enough zeros for him to look at because he was used to corporate finance.
Okay.
And so I handled the money already. So when it was time for us to get divorced with such young babies, because of my ability to think and ask questions, our divorce was mediated. We both were amicable about the whole thing,
Beautiful.
which makes a big difference. And we were future thinking. I knew questions to ask. Great example. I have 3 teenage daughters now. Who's paying for car insurance? Like thinking long term, the 401k, does it make sense for me to take more of that at a young age, instead of equity in the home? Like I was able to pull other levers that if you're not familiar with your finances, you wouldn't know what to do to set me up for success, to be able to put my career on the back burner to raise my children. So I shifted careers. I went into consulting for entrepreneurs where I was able to work from home and have more of a balance.
Beautiful.
Because their dad lives out of state. So all of the responsibility for parenting during the school year falls to me. And so I needed something with more flexibility. And that was a price, again, down to money and emotions that I was willing to do.
Wonderful. And I've met your daughters and they seem very cool. So when someone, now the world knows you exist.
Yes.
You're one of 100 in that exist in the United States?
Or pretty much globally.
Well,
yeah.
Awesome.
Internationally known.
Internationally known. Wicca, wicca, woo.
Exactly.
Yes. So because I hear myself again, like your mother, I was not involved enough. I knew nothing. I was always told to not worry.
Yeah.
And why do you think it's so, even when you're talking, I'm thinking I'm 53 years old. I don't even want to talk about it now. Why is that feeling inside people?
Because of 3 main pillars. So let's start with the first one, our background.
Yes.
How your parents at home talked about money or didn't talk about money. And what roles your parents played. So if you're going to go on vacation, was it your dad who made the decision or was it your mom how much you were going to spend?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, who's paying the bills every month? And that's what you're seeing as an example of what it should look like. Most people, 1, don't see it. It's done in private.
Right.
Or 2, if they see it, they see a lot of arguing and not healthy conversations. 3 will go into culture and religion, which is the second pillar, which is often it's men hold the finances.
Yeah.
Literally 50 years ago, you and I could not be sitting here as business owners.
Wow.
50 years ago, we could not open up a bank account on our own. You would have to have your father, a husband, a brother sign for a car loan for you.
Wow.
Or for a house.
That was not that long ago.
How old are you?
53.
Okay, so you're talking like when you were 3 years old. This was not that long ago that women could not be in control of bank accounts. And so what's happening now, we're seeing also the great wealth transfer where women are getting more involved. And we know women are really good decision makers.
Yes.
And so right now it's building confidence in women. So religion and culture. Culture is that men typically handle the finances. I have a lot of male clients that come to me because they feel embarrassed and ashamed because they're just supposed to know.
Right.
Nobody teaches them either, right?
That's so interesting.
And
right.
so we have a world where people are running around doing finances literally every day, from your cup of coffee to your mortgage to your salary or your paycheck that you come home to your kids asking for new sneakers for school, but we're not supposed to talk about it. Which leads to the third, religion, the other one.
Yes.
Money is greed. Doesn't buy you happiness. You give to charity. And so the messaging there is some people also sabotage their careers because they're afraid if they're greedy. I work with an entrepreneur who sold his business and didn't feel like he could be a good person because now he had money.
Wow.
And so we had to reframe that of like, what do you enjoy doing and where you could give back and where you can really help, that money would be put to good.
And your relationship with money and your deservability and all of that really plays into it.
And it empowers you now to make some change for people that didn't have it. And he loved to ride bikes. So think about donating bikes, bike trails. Like there's all these opportunities that now that you had the money, that wasn't necessarily greed with fancy cars, it could be used for outdoors, mental health, whatever. So the third piece is experiences. So
that's it.
You and I went for a walk. We had a great experience. Chances are we'll go for another walk. If I went on for a walk and you were a slow walker, you like spit on me, we're not going for another walk again, right? So the same thing happens when you go to buy a car. You have a good experience. I know. You have a good experience, you're going to go back to the same car dealership probably.
Right.
Or do something around the same thing. You have a bad experience, like you just made that, I have to sell a car right now. I'm dreading it because of my past experiences. And so I need to shift that mindset. I actually have to ask a friend to say, this is something you're skilled at. Can you come help me? And so that's what it is when we talk about money, is we get our mindset from those three major things: background, religion and culture, and experiences. And then
here we are.
We walk away.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but then we get married.
Right.
And we meet somebody. And guess what?
They have two different
They have a different background.
Yes.
Possibly religion, culture, messaging, and experiences.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question. How long do you think it takes, on average, for a couple to say, I love you?
On average?
On average.
4 months.
Okay, it's 5.
Okay.
But you were close.
I was close,
you were
right?
Close.
Do I get the point?
I'll give you half a point.
Okay.
We could do double or nothing on the next question.
Okay.
How long do you think it is until people disclose? You're shaking your head already.
I know what's coming. I know what's coming, but go ahead.
Their credit score, their salary, their student loan debt. How long do you think that takes?
Till divorce, maybe.
Yeah. So the average is actually 9 months, but I've done this long enough and asked the question so many times that it's never after we're married. You just said upon divorce. Why are we so scared to talk about money?
Yeah. Why is
you just got tongue tied on that? It's overwhelming.
I need to know why. There's an icky thing around it. Either people are pretending that they don't have issues, pretending they do know about it, or this clearly should be a conversation had early on in relationships. I don't know if it's a 9 months or whatever it is, but even for compatibility.
That's huge. So I was in an article for US News and Report a few months back, and it said, this guy said, these are the 4 financial questions you should ask on a first date. And like the first one was like, how much do you make?
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine going on a first date and asking someone? Can you imagine?
No, I literally was married for 10 years. I have no idea how much my husband was making.
So interesting.
True story.
We'll get back to that one. And so my response was, it should be more storytelling, right? Of, in my career, I'm a VP and I'm working up to a C-level executive, or on
it's not a number.
It's not a number, the first date.
Okay.
Right? I use the example as a kid, I had to order off the kid menu till I was 13 years old. And then it was only on the right side. You weren't getting an appetizer and a Shirley Temple unless it was your birthday.
Exactly. And then you needed to eat it all. Right?
But that just told me about you. That conversation of, we went out to dinner only on birthdays. I'm starting to understand your upbringing. And that's the important part, because you go out to dinner now as a couple and you're like, why don't we go to dinner all the time?
Right.
It's not important. It's not part of their background.
Right.
And so unless you express, going out to dinner is a way for us to connect. It's time together. It's memories made, whatever, if that's even important to you. Somebody else might be cooking together is important because I was raised in the kitchen and that's where the family spends the time.
It's familiar.
But if we don't talk about it, it goes, instead of respect, it goes to resentment.
Right.
That's why I'll have a job for a really long time.
You will.
Yeah.
You will. Let me ask you this. Let's say post-divorce, right? There are a lot of couples that I speak with that have been reshaped to think about money because their ex-partner, ex-wife didn't work, or their husband used to do all of this. Because now you're coming in, as you said, putting the two houses together with all of not only the relationships you grew up with, now it's the relationship that took place with money during your marriage.
Yep.
So that seems like something doable, but probably very hard to do.
I call it financial trauma.
Yeah.
Right? You had this experience. And oftentimes, if you're going through the divorce, it's the first time, like you were saying, you might even be looking at your financials. And then you're like, shit, what do I do now? I don't know how to pay a mortgage. I don't know if I can get a house. Like there's so much unknown. And so people kept coming to me saying, I don't know how to ask the questions. So I was at the bar one night.
Okay.
It
sounds like a joke.
I know. So like the shower and the bar, right? Those are generally like the two places where like you get good ideas.
Okay.
There was a couple next to me on their 10-year anniversary doing conversation cards. And I talked to everybody. And so I said to the woman, she's like, here, do you want some? Of course. And my friends and I, we started asking questions. And I had the aha moment. Let's make these financial wellness cards. And so that's what I did. I created the couples edition first.
Tell me about that, because I think that's genius.
So this asks the questions because people kept coming to me saying, I don't know what questions to ask, or I could never ask that. You know, one question is like, have you declared bankruptcy before? If so, what did you learn from it? So now you're putting it in a positive light. Do you believe we should support adult parents? And so we're having these conversations instead of in an accusatory way. You're having it in dialogue, which is great. But after that, I came up with the divorce edition because as we were talking about it, you have to reinvent your relationship with money. And so you go to the divorce attorney, you sign all the papers, you do all the financial affidavits, but then what happens? You're sitting in a new house by yourself and you're like, I want to go on vacation. How do I figure out how many nights to stay? Who's my new beneficiary? There's all these questions.
A lot.
So much. And there's really nobody holding your hand through that process after the paperwork is done. And so these questions you could do by yourself. You could grab a girlfriend, and they're to prompt you with some of these things that now you're developing your relationship on your own of how to do it.
Okay, let's say there's a couple. They really like each other. Then along you come, Erika. They're like, oh, here's the cards. And you recognize then, oh my gosh, it is something you recognize. I know what to do. It's redundant, I guess. But when you're really recognizing, clearly you should have done this before. And now you're in a conversation and someone's answering and you're like, really? If it doesn't align. Like, is there a percentage on alignment?
Yeah, 0.
I want that number. Okay.
I mean, that might not be the official number,
right?
But that is pretty.
I have half a point.
That is pretty darn close. And I've worked with clients that have been married. I worked with one client married for 10 years, and they were overspending. They had 3 kids. He was an attorney. She was an artist. I asked them to go revisit where they could shift some of the spending. So wherever you want to like reduce some areas and increase others. They canceled the next meeting.
Wow.
Then they came back and there was just zeros on some line items. And I was like, how'd you guys I knew what happened.
Right.
I go, how'd you come up with zeros? And she goes, well, he just did it. It saved us hours of fighting.
Okay.
And then we paused. And then he goes, oh, I missed the assignment. If you're not getting buy-in from both people, you're going to get rebellion. And so that's where they had to start talking about the uncomfortable conversations. He was in charge of the finances. Here's the funny thing. He also drove the car everywhere they went, and she couldn't look at his driving. It drove her crazy. He'd missed turns. He wasn't paying attention to the GPS. And I'm like, but you still let him drive.
Right.
The same with the finances. She wasn't inserting herself in the finances either. And so we were able to make that correlation. And then she had the aha moment.
Are they still together?
They are. Yes.
Okay. Let's say, so when someone comes to you and they start having these conversations, and I think it's an amazing tool. You need to talk how people could get it, please. What if someone does not want to even have the conversation, or they say my money is not your business, or I'm going to give you a prenup, or
I love a prenup.
Okay,
So don't go there.
Okay. So prenup is a good thing.
Prenup is the government's going to decide how we're splitting our money, or you and I, when we're amicable, are going to decide how to split the money. So I am all for the prenup because you're actually having the conversations. And I've had several couples come to me to say they didn't align on their financial views. So what would have been a marriage, maybe not will be, because of those conversations that were not happening. And by the way, if they happen in post-divorce, it would be really ugly and the lawyers would make it
I
up.
see it. Yes.
So I'm pro prenups.
Okay.
So if you don't want to have the conversation, you can have the conversation without realizing it. So I have a book coming out called Conversations with Your Financial Therapist.
I'm so excited.
Stories and scripts to grow your mindset. Super cool. Shark Tank, Barbara Corcoran.
That's a big deal. You say it. That
Endorsed the
deal.
book. So she was like, yes, we need these conversations. And I created a mindset framework, money mindset framework. And the first is make the conversation comfortable. So your partner might not necessarily know you're having a financial conversation. So make it comfortable. Think about the last time outside the bedroom that you guys had a comfortable conversation. Like you and I are sitting here right now. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to be picked up from school. You know, the air temperature is fine.
Mm-hmm.
We both have eaten. And so we can sit down and relax and have a conversation. That's M. It goes by money is the 5 steps. And M is the first one, is make the conversation comfortable. And I'll give you a tip. Do it when you go for a drive or out walking the dog. Shoulder to shoulder makes the conversations easier than face to face.
Wow.
So start there and start more inquisitive and storytelling than why didn't you pay the electric bill last month? I can't believe we have a fine.
Yeah.
You're not going to start off on a happy conversation.
No, that's going to go nowhere.
Yeah.
So what's a good way to start out the conversation?
So if we're driving and let's say the electric bill wasn't paid, or you know, it's more like, is there something going on this month that we need to adjust to pay the electric bill?
Your team.
Right. Can I help pay that bill or call the electric company for you? Or is that something you're able to do this week? Heck, start with, is having electricity important to you? And if the person said no,
yeah,
then be like, okay, but it's important to me. I like a hot shower.
Right.
Right. And it might not be back to like going out to dinner. For them, it might not be important. So understanding the importance of what the topic is to each person is really valuable.
Okay, what are the other ones?
So O is one question at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to throw in, we gave your mom $3,000 in 1987 and she still hasn't paid us back. Your brother comes over and eats out of our kitchen all the time. No. So if you want to have that conversation, I say set a timer, 2 minutes, write down all the questions that you have bubbling up.
I like to set a timer.
Set a timer and then be like, you write what down you have, I'll write down the questions I have. And then we're going to go to N. Nurtured shared goals.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at our list. And it might be aftercare for our kid. How do we provide aftercare support for our child? And if you're divorced, this might be an opportunity, right?
Yes.
How do we do this?
Yes.
So now we're going to nurture the shared goal. And then E, evaluate practical solutions. This is your brainstorming idea. Again, set a timer, might be a great way. You think of things, I think of things, and then we'll swap papers. It could be just 5 minutes to let one person talk and then the other person talk. But this is where you're going to say, after the school has a program. My mother can take her 3 days a week. I know you don't like my mother, but it's free. You know,
right.
Like, let's go evaluate the options that we have. The karate school, you know, her best friend's mom.
And it's okay to say no. I see it all the time. Parents sometimes don't want to say no when it comes to certain things.
But it doesn't say no. It's give the opportunity to brainstorm both of you together versus when your co-parent comes to you, your automatic reflex shouldn't be no.
Yeah.
Because it comes from their mouth.
Yeah.
And so when you're brainstorming together, you come up with a solution that really works best for both of you that maybe you haven't thought about.
Right.
Which leads me to why, which is say yes to compassion. Compassion for yourself. So if you're meeting with your ex-spouse and you have to have a conversation, it might be to go for a walk afterwards or meet a friend for a glass of wine. You know, Yes to, if you're having the conversation with your aging parents, have compassion for them. They haven't had this conversation. So what does that look like? Giving them extra breathing room, coming back to the conversation. So compassion is really important in this process for yourself and others. So that's money.
I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. So I want to hear a card.
Oh, yeah.
Just for fun.
Okay, let's do it.
I might not want to answer you, but I want to hear it.
There.
Was it like pick one?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see.
No magic tricks.
Okay. What emotions, I like this one, Letty. What emotions arise when you think about your new financial responsibilities?
First thing, don't overthink it.
Scared.
Yeah.
Really scared.
Really scared.
I don't want to. Yeah, it is. It's very scary.
Because?
I don't like it.
Because?
It seems very heavy.
Why is it heavy?
It's heavy because I'm like losing my breath, by the way. It's heavy because I'm probably not confident in my plan.
Why aren't you confident in your plan?
Because shit happens, and I didn't plan for that.
Why does shit happen?
That's life. Maybe you should plan for shit happening.
Okay.
Right?
So what was your word that you used? What was the word that you, scared?
Scared. I was very scared.
If you had a plan, if you had a backup plan, would that reduce the scared feeling?
Yes.
A contingency plan.
Yes.
Okay. So when you go home tonight, create a separate line in your bank account, create a little stash. I call it a sunshine fund. You know, when that happens, when you need a little extra in your life,
right,
you can pull from it. And then all of a sudden, like I had to get my roof repaired today, $1,200. Hate that feeling.
Yes.
Right? But I plan for it.
Right.
I rather put that on a plane ticket.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But when you have the plan. And so if you notice, the first answer you gave me was bullshit. The second answer you gave me was it took a little bit to get to confidence.
Yeah.
And maybe insufficient funds, insufficient planning.
Yes. And again, going back to the way I was brought up. My parents made the money, we spent the money. Made the money, we spent the money. Made the money, we spent the money.
So there was no backup plan.
No, it puts everyone else in a bad position now with long-term care and all of that.
Yep.
So
that's a whole other conversation. Aging parents.
We could talk about that another time.
That's another edition that I'm working on.
Again, clearly could have been decided on or have some sort of a plan moving forward. I think that's so important in relationships, and communication, we know, is so important in relationship, and how you communicate about money maybe dictates how you communicate about everything else.
Yeah. And look, you have your daughters watching you.
Yeah.
And so here's a great way to show them that you're building confidence and that you have a backup plan. So you will not put them in a situation that you were put in. And that's how we learn from our experiences.
Yeah.
And I know you can do it. Yep.
I'm going to. I am. I'm doing it.
And I'll leave you with one thing. I love this. Hand on heart, on your mind. I write it. I have it on my financial vision board. By the way, it's in my bathroom. It's the only private place I have in my house with 3 teenage daughters. And even then, it says I'm a wealthy woman. And definition of wealth isn't necessarily a dollar amount. This is wealth.
And the more people you help, the wealthier you are. So it's cyclical. How beautiful, right? In your line of business.
Yeah. But again, it's manifesting. I am a wealthy woman. I'm a wealthy person. And all of a sudden, you'll start seeing things in that positive growth mindset versus, shit, I'm just bad at finances. Well, congratulations. You're also going to be fat forever. That's right? So like, it's a fixed statement.
Yes.
It's a fixed statement. Yes, I walk around all the time.
And what you tell yourself, you believe and you become.
Right. And we're our worst critics. So when we start turning this around to say, like, I'm learning my relationship with money, I'm growing my financial literacy, I'm becoming a better steward of finances, then guess what happens?
What?
You do it.
You're right.
You do it. It happens.
It's seeing yourself there, I think. But how wonderful to have someone like you to guide and make people less scared and to open up conversations. I think that's great.
Yeah, if I can help anybody, you can find me at Your Financial Therapist.
Please let us know.
Yeah.
And I'll put it in the comments, I will say.
Great.
So I know now everyone wants me to meet you and spend time with you, and we will go for another walk, and I will maybe come in your bathroom and see your vision board. I'm inviting myself. So thank you for coming, Erika. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for opening up the conversation for us.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Good.
And thank you guys for joining us. Come visit us back soon. I will put Erika's information in the comments. I hope it opened your mind to some things today. Have a great day.